G. Romualdez as the top guns. Okay, let us welcome our guest, House Ad Hoc Committee on Marawi Rehabilitation and Victims Compensation Chairman and Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adjong, and House Assistant Majority Leader and Manila 1st District Representative Ernesto Ernix M. Junicio Jr. Sir, your opening remarks.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Again, nagpapasalamat po kami sa ating mga media partners sa pagdalo dito sa araw na ito sa ating press briefing. Gusto ko lang din pong batiin ang ating mga kapatid na Muslim sa buong Pilipinas, buong mundo. Today we are celebrating Muharram, 1st of Muharram, 1447. This is the Islamic New Year, no? Amun Jadid po sa ating mga kababayang Muslim. At gusto na kong puring batiin ang lalo-lalo na po din sa BARMM, sa area po namin sa region, that today we are celebrating the first day of the year 1447 according to our Hijra calendar. So again, we would like to thank all of you for coming, for joining us, kami ni Ernix, and we hope to answer all your questions later po. Maraming pong salamat, magandang araw again.
Happy Islamic New Year sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim at sa inyo pong lahat, isang magandang tanghali, friends from the media at sa mga mamamayang Pilipino, magandang tanghali po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you, sir. So we will now take the first questions from Tina Panganiban Perez of GMA 7.
Good afternoon po. So, sirs, yesterday the House Prosecution Panel complied with the first requirement of the Senate Impeachment Court, yun po sa 1-year ban. Now, dun sa compliance sa second requirement, if pagbobotohan po sa 20th Congress, how will you vote po?
And what actually is the second, would the 20th Congress carry over?
Sir, if interested pa rin yung 20th Congress to pursue
well, on collectively, I personally cannot speak on how the 20th Congress will appreciate, no? But individually, if you ask me, I have already affixed my signature on the 7 verified impeachment complaints, and that will remain to be my advocacy, and that will my support on the prosecution team to hold the Vice President accountable for actions will still remain. So, yun po ang aking kasagutan dyan, Ma'am Tina.
Thank you, Ma'am Tina, for the question. Actually, ayun kasabihan ba, the boat has already sailed eh. Whether or not it's the duty of the 19th or the 20th Congress is highly contestable by different parties. In my humble opinion, tuloy-tuloy na po yan eh. It's a constitutionally mandated duty by Congress and of the Senate. So it's a firm stand by the House na the boat has sailed eh. We have to go with the impeachment process. Correct. Regardless of what it is, the House has one stand, united, and the impeachment process is a chance to see that the Constitution is at work, it is protected by the leaders of this nation, and more important, ito po yung pinakapatas na paraan para marinig yung side ng dalawang parte.
Tama.
So, it's very fair and democratic.
Oh, tuloy ang laban,
so,
guys,
sir, what you're both are saying is that hindi na po kailangan nung certification from the House.
Well, Ma'am Tina, we have already adopted the resolution in compliance with the court order, no, yung certification. But as to whether or not the 20th Congress will carry on the impeachment, that again was also responded to by the prosecution team. Kasi sabi nga ho nila doon sa for because we defer the acceptance of that second order simply because ang sabi nila it needs further clarification because the 19th Congress could not simply speak on behalf of the 20th Congress. So I guess if you talk about the process in itself, the impeachment process, that is already laid down clearly by the Constitution. And sabi nga po ng aking kaibigan dito, si Congressman Ernix, na we stand by with what we have already supported. We affixed our signatures in the 19th Congress. The issue really here is to hold impeachable officers according to the enumerated list of impeachable officers under the Constitution, hold accountable to their actions. No, this is not an issue of personality. This is about making the Constitution work for every single Filipino. In the case of the impeachment trial under Article 11, we stand by it. This is a constitutional process. This is a constitutional mechanism, and we would continue to stand by it. So, ang usapan pala kung talaga natin dito when it comes to the issue of impeachment ay na mananatili po ang paninindigan na House na we delivered our commitment, our mandate given to us by the Constitution. So, yun po yung pinakabulto na ini-explain po namin dito sa parte ng House of Representatives.
Oh, yan tuloy ang laban sa 20 Congress. Yes, na yes. Yuhu!
Thank you, Tina. Rosalie Cos from UNTV. Is that what I recognize?
Wala
Good afternoon po, Kongs. Regarding po sa fellowship dinner last night with Speaker Martin Romualdez together with the neophytes and returning lawmakers, the Speaker appealed for the support of the neophytes and returning lawmakers. Did he also seek their support for his speakership until the 20th Congress?
No, actually, yung fellowship dinner, yun yung nag-conclude nung 3-day seminar or guidance para sa mga neophytes and new House members. As far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Kung Zia, no, we were there last night. Wala namang appeal na mga ganon for speakership or any support. It's mainly to give guidance and show support to the new members of the House. Speaker Martin was simply showing that, guiding the new members on how they can be an effective leader of their respective districts. Again, in terms of asking for support for speakership, there's not a single iota of request or anything of that sort, ma'am.
Gusto nila si Pulong ang
Actually,
magiging
it was
speaker.
purely to welcome the incoming Congress members of the 20th Congress. Remember, the 19th Congress will expire on June 30. Sa ngayon, siya pa rin ang speaker. Nung nandun po kami kagabi, it was merely a getting to know each other, kumbaga. So welcoming the incoming members of the 20th Congress as well as to inspire them, no? In-inspire niya yung mga membro, hindi lang mga membro ng incoming but even those who are present last night na mga re-elected members ng House to inspire the incoming members to commit themselves to their to their advocacies individual, no, sa kanilang mga distrito, and to make sure that the House will support kung ano man yung mga programa at ang mga advokasya na makakatulong sa ating bansa, hindi lang sa individual na district. So it was simply just a gesture of welcoming them, making them part of the official family in the coming Congress. Wala pong napag-usapan doon anything about leadership support or anything about yung mga issue about positions in the House.
But are we expecting the 40-plus representatives elect to support the speakership of Speaker Martin Romualdez in the 20th?
They have already we have already secured, I guess, 200 plus
Oh, wow.
signatures, manifest of support for the current speaker, Speaker Martin Romualdez. Should the 20th Congress starts na they have already been there is already a support, an overwhelming support in terms of the speaker should he decides again to run for the speakership. Meron na pong 200 plus signatures na nagsasabing sumusuporta sila sa ating speaker sa ngayon, because may kasabihan nga, if it's broken, why fix it, diba? So in sustainability and yung stability na pinakita ng leadership ni Speaker Romualdez, doon yung source of support na pinanggagalingan ng bawat individual na congressman na 200 plus na lumagda para ipakita ang kanilang suporta
Mabait
sa
po si
current
Speaker.
speaker na to na maging speaker in the 20th Congress.
Mabait si Speaker.
May we also ask your reaction sa
Hindi
statement
siya
ni Deputy
palaaway.
Speaker Duke Frasco. He stated in his social media post, I quote, "If the election for Speaker were held today, my support would go to either Congressman Toby Chanco or Congressman Albi Benitez."
Well, that's his, he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to cast his vote to whomever he feels, for him fitting to the position. Wala naman pong nagpupuwersa sa bawat isa sa amin na bumoto. In fact, that actually is a manifestation. There is no, that when it comes to election of the speakership, wala pong sapilitan dito sa House. That the election and the vote of each individual congressman will be entirely up to his or her own discretion. Nagpapakita lang ito na wala pong sapilitan dito at yung 200 plus na congressmen na nag-sign doon sa manifesto ay voluntarily and consciously supporting the Speaker, Martin Romualdez. So sa kanya pong palagay yun, nirespeto naman po natin ang opinion niya.
Ma'am, just my 2 cents. At the end of the day, Congress is a collegial body. Each vote, each decision by each House member is given weight and importance. Just to be exact, there's already a 283 who signed the manifesto. So that's an overwhelming majority in the support of House Speaker Martin Romualdez. And only time will tell. But this manifesto shows a strong support that the leadership of Speaker Martin is supported by the majority of the House members and the incoming members for the 20th Congress.
Sorry, kasi yung nabigay na unang bilang sa amin, 285. May nabawas po bang dalawa?
No, actually, yung signed first, there's 87 already who expressed their support. It's more of hindi pa lang sila physically sign, but 287 total expressed their support, and then 283 who physically signed the manifesto.
Nako.
So as of now, there's no strong contender.
With the numbers that's presented in front of us, parang malabo, ma'am. I think the leadership of House Speaker kasi is supported really by the majority of the present and incoming members of the House.
Nako, lalaban na
Dadagdagan ko lang, when it comes naman to contender, sabi mo, anybody can actually run for the Speaker. But the question is whether that person or that Congress member has the number to secure the position. So sinabi nga ni Kong Ernix, we have already secured 280 plus signatures supporting Speaker Martin Romualdez to be our Speaker in the 20th Congress.
Nako, lalaban ng pagka-presidente. Ang daming supporter ni Speaker
Thank
na
you,
Congressman.
Rosalie. Next, Kat Forbes from Radio Pilipinas.
Magandang tanghali po, Kongs. Unang tanong ko lang po ay meron po kasing binitiwang medyo mabigat po na pahayag itong si Vice President Sara Duterte after pong after po siyang mapuna dun sa country hopping po niya, yung kanya pong pagbisita sa ibang mga bansa. Meron po kasi siyang sinabi dun sa bilang reaksyon po, ang kanyang, yung i-quote ko lang po ng kapag personal trip, hindi ako gumagamit ng pera ng bayan. Hindi ibig sabihin na personal na lakad yan, holiday o pamamasyal yan. Hindi ko alam kung sinasadya nilang wag intindihin o bobo lang yung nasa administrasyon. I like to believe the latter. Sa tingin niyo po, bilang isang vice-presidente, tama po ba yung kanyang paggamit ng salita na bobo, lalo na po laban sa mga opisyal po ng current administration na pumupuna po dun sa kanyang mga biyahe?
Yeah, just my 2 cents, ma'am. No, I don't think it's uncalled for. Each leader, same goes with House members. Each position, basta leader ka ng isang bansa, there's a certain decorum that you should follow. I believe the respect begets respect. No? Wala namang mararating yung mga name calling o yung mga negative pagtatapon natin ng mga hindi magagandang salita sa kapwa natin.
Tama.
Kahit simpleng tao o miyembro ng lipunan natin o mga simpleng Pilipino, could simply attest na pag masama ang sinabi mo sa kapwa mo, masama rin ang babalik sa'yo.
Correct.
That's why I really commend President Bongbong Marcos sa dami-dami ng tinatapon na putik sa kanya. No, this is my own opinion. No, he maintains that decorum of being a good leader, setting an example to the youth and to the generations coming ng ating bansa, na talagang nagbibigay pa rin siya ng respeto.
Correct.
Being an objective leader is what we need. Name calling and the other bad words na ginagawa, I don't think it's really called for.
Yan ang aking presidente.
I think the
PBBM,
question
mabait.
revolves around her priorities as a vice president. She has her obligation here in the country. So I guess the question really is about the frequency of her travels abroad. Kasi pag ikaw ay opisyal, you are also expected by the public to be present, no?
Solmira
Every
TV,
time
tama ka dyan,
in
kabayan.
areas where you are supposed to serve, no? Number two, doon naman po sa mga responses nila, I'm not really surprised with all these words coming out from the Vice President. That's why we as public officials, we also have to call out. You have to also consistently call out whenever there's a utterances or sentences or words, phrases that comes out from individually. I'm not just specifically citing the Vice President, but as public officials to maintain, sabi nga ni Congressman Ernix, to maintain a semblance of at least man lang a source of respect and diplomacy whenever we engage with other public
Tama.
officials. Because it's not really something that goes directly to the personalities responding to the issue. It's actually the office that represents by this person or by this personality or public official. So when she speaks about certain things in uttering certain words, it does not reflect her own personality, but it also reflects the office that she occupies, which to us should be held higher in higher standards.
Loyal
So I
standard.
hope that this
Pwede,
kind
pwede.
of responses and utterances will be avoided, so that public discourse, especially on national concerns and issues, will be based on the merits of the issue, will be based on the issue in itself rather than go down to personality attacks.
Sure, isa pa pong tanong. Meron din po kasing nabanggit itong si VP Sara Duterte, questioning po yung foreign policy ng Marcos Jr. administration. And because of that, she was characterized by the palace as pro-China. Pero kanya pong kiniklaim, hindi daw po siya pro-China. At sabi nga po niya, I am not pro any country at all. Ang nais lang daw po niya ay mas strengthen yung relationship sa iba pa pong mga bansa, kasama na din po doon yung China. Ano po yung inyo pong reaction po doon sa kanya sinabi na hindi naman daw po siya, kumbaga, not pro any country?
Well, personally, I believe that kung ikaw ay Pilipino, dapat pro-Philippines ka.
Correct.
You should be doing whatever it takes to, to serve the interest of the Filipino people at ng ating bansa. Now, with regards to your question na yung sa dapat nagbe-build tayo ng
Hello,
relationship
Ma'am
with
Lina
other
Pagay.
countries.
Shout out sa'yo, Ma'am.
Yeah, I do agree. Wala namang masama dun. That's exactly what President Bongbong Marcos is
Solmira
doing.
TV, shout
But at
out
some
po.
point, when there's an aggressor, a country na
Yes, TBBM,
ginikipit yung karapatan
shout
ng
out.
isang bansa, can you simply say na dapat maging magkaibigan tayo? There's a difference in relationship na maging maayos o diplomacy between one country to another. But, there are fights that needs fighting. We have to draw the line. Kapag may aggressor na bansa o ginikipit tayo, simple ba tayo magiging patay-mali siya na makikipagkaibigan lang? Or should we assert the rights of the Filipino people? of the fishermen ang right ng ating bansa. So I do believe na we should be pro-Philippines. Each Filipino should fight for the rights of our country, protect the rights of our citizen, especially the president and top-ranking officials of our country.
Correct. Buti pa itong mga
Well,
to.
Filipinos naman are not expecting aggressive rhetoric eh.
Matalino
What they want
magsagot.
is consistent position and clarity when it comes to the issue of West Philippine Sea. Ang pagtatagpo ng layunin na maganda yung diplomasya sa buong mundo ay isa po sa mga aspekto niyan ang pagtatatagpo ng depensa sa interes ng ating bansa. Ang pagiging patas po sa diplomasya, sa larangan po ng diplomasya ay hindi nangangahulugan na pananahimik sa harap ng mga nangaapi sa ating bansa. So, I guess yung issue nung sinabi ni Kong Ernix na yung issue ng West Philippine Sea, it's not simply a diplomatic issue. It also covers the issue of sovereignty and national integrity of our country. So yung pananahimik po ng bawat opisyal ng ating bansa ay nakakadagdag sa naratiba ng aggressor, which in this case China. So it's very clear, no? When it comes to other areas of concern, we can involve ourselves with any countries that would bear mutual benefits, no? Both sa ating bansa at kung sino mang bansa na yun. But when it comes to territorial integrity and sovereignty, the country and the public demands the clear position kung saan ba talaga ang kanilang mga elected na opisyal. Asan ba yung position na yun sa pagsusuporta sa integridad ng ating bansa o suporta doon sa mga nangapi at nag-i-encroach ng ating lugar, no? In the case of China, the West Philippine Sea. So klaro po yan. Dapat klaro ang position ng bawat elected officials pagdating po sa issue na yan.
Pero China naman talaga si
Thank
Sara
you,
eh.
Pat. We acknowledge Billy Vegas from Abante Politico for his questions.
Hingi lang po ng reaction, meron pong interview si BP Sara sa Russia TV. Ang sabi niya po doon,
Wala naman alam yun.
inulit niya lang yung sabi niya politically motivated daw po yung impeachment. At ang goal daw po noon ay yung matanggal yung frontrunner sa 2028 presidential polls na siya yun. And number 2 question po, yung impeachment daw po, hindi naman binasa ng mga pumirma, tapos binayaran lang daw po kayo.
I strongly denounce yung statement na binayaran eh. Yung mga salitang ganyan, it's trying to, evade the real issue. The issue is, there's an impeachment complaint filed by a Filipino citizen. Dinala sa Kongreso. We have to act upon it as a constitutional mandated duty by the Congress. That's exactly simply what the House did. May batayan ba? May pamantayan? Yes. So that's why it was elevated to the Senate. Now they are there to act as impeachment court. Now yung ibang rhetoric, yung ibang comments is simply there to skirt out the real issue. There's questions being raised in the impeachment complaint. Now the impeachment process is there for a reason. It shows accountability and transparency in government. So yun yung mandated duty ng ating Constitution. It should be followed to the letter. Hindi na yung mga political stunts or political comments na, para ma-evade yung real issue. This is the best way to prove whether a person or a leader is guilty or not. Let's go with the process and let's show the Filipino people that there is nothing to hide. Ipakita natin na patas ang gobyerno, na patas ang institusyon at patas ang proseso as mandated by our Constitution. And in doing so, the issues na nakaharap kahit sinong leader ng ating bansa, it will either be judged accordingly in history as tama ba or mali.
The articles of impeachment were passed overwhelmingly by the House of Representatives compared to the dubious acknowledgement receipts, the verified impeachment complaints has the blessing, it carries with it the blessing of the Constitution. Sabi nga ni Kong Ernix, this is a process wherein we ensure that our Constitution is alive and well. Ilang lang po yung mga enumerated by the Constitution ng mga impeachable officers. And I guess apart from holding the principle of accountability as public officials, it also carries with it our fight against the culture of impunity. The reason why we're holding these high officials accountable to their actions because we do not want also the culture of impunity to be the dominant rule of the day. So yun po yung issue doon. If we allow such remarks to go unchallenged, we do not only disregard this constitutional mandate given to us by the Constitution, given to the House of Representatives, but it also undermines constitutional mechanisms. Isa po yan ang impeachment process. So I agree completely with the position of my colleague here, my friend, that this is a constitutional obligation. We have already delivered what the public has been asking the House through filing of these impeachment complaints. There are several impeachment complaints that were filed. Hindi lang po isa. 6 wata yung mga 6 grupo or 7. Yes, 7. Hindi, yung nag-file ng sarili nilang individual. May mga grupo dyan at saka may mga individual po ng mga concerned citizens. So just leave it at that. The framers of our Constitution, meron po silang nilagay dyan na sa sariling artikulo, Article 11, precisely because they think that the impeachment process, this impeachment mechanism, it will actually stabilize our country. This is the way, this is the most legal and the most valid and the most legitimate way of holding those enumerated under the Constitution as impeachable officers accountable to their actions. Please proceed.
Habol ko lang lalo na po kay Kong Sia. Kong Sia, magkakaroon ba na epekto sa BARMM election yung pagsasabi na courtesy resignation ng mga member ng parliament?
Wala po ako nakikitang connection sa preparation ng COMELEC for the BARMM elections in October this year with that of the Chief Minister's order to revamp his cabinet. It's entirely a administrative decision and executive action done by the sitting chief minister that is internal within the BARMM bureaucracy. So I don't see any connection or would this decision of the chief minister affect the preparation of COMELEC for holding the 2025 BARMM election this coming October. So wala po akong nakikitang connection doon.
Thank you, Billy. We will now take questions from Bella Lismoras of PTV4.
Hi, good morning po, Kongs. Follow-up lang po, kanina kasi natanong kayo ni Ate Tina na until the 20th Congress, talagang suportado pa rin natin itong pagpapatuloy ng pag-pursue dito sa impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pero sa kabila nga nito, kahapon sa reference po ni Senate President Cheese Escudero, may mga ilan siyang mga mabibigat din ng pahayag tungkol sa impeachment. Hingin ko lang po yung reaction nyo dito. Na yun nga, kabilang tayo sa mga nagsusulong at sumuporta dito sa impeachment complaint. Una, may sinabi siyang pwedeng i-junk ng impeachment court ang case laban kay VP Duterte by majority vote. Ano po yung reaction nyo dito at yung sinabi din niya na parang matigas daw yung ulo ng mga House prosecutors?
At what basis kaya yung sinasabing pwedeng i-junk ng majority vote sa Senate yung impeachment complaint? I don't see any reason why this should happen kasi kung political lang ba, kung kakampi pa nila or whatever it may be, the Constitution specifically says to try and decide. The Senate has a constitutionally mandated duty to do so. So I don't see any reason why there should be a vote, motion, or any sort na para ipigilin ang mandated duty ng Constitution sa Senate. Dapat gawin natin ang trabaho natin. And hindi ko maintindihan yung comment na why the House panel would be stubborn. In reality, na hindi naman dapat na, in my humble opinion, but the House submitted constitutional compliance certificate to the Senate, resubmits the entry of appearance without conditions to be Pizarro's complaint, impeachment complaint. So having said that, ginagawa na nga ng House prosecution ng House ang duty nila and above that. So I think the House is being cooperative with the Senate acting as an impeachment court, and there's no reason to name calling. Tayo lahat naman nandito sa House and the Senate should be working together to do our constitutionally mandated duty. Tama na yung giitan o yung mga name calling o yung turuan or pasahan ng bola. Let's work together, let's proceed with the impeachment complaint and do our constitutionally mandated duty.
The House prosecution team works according and in compliance with the Senate impeachment court's own timeline. So kami po ay nagre-responde lang at nire-respeto yung jurisdiction ng korte, ng impeachment court. At alinsunod sa mga orders nila, yun po yung ang House prosecution na ginagawa. Pangalawa po, dalawa naman po yan talaga yung pagka sa akin pananaw eh. It's either you convict or you acquit. No? Wala naman pong problema kung ang mga senador ay mag-acquit or magko-convict. That's precisely why they're there in the first place, to judge the merit of the case. They can go either to acquit or to dismiss, but the point is allow the process according to the Constitution to proceed. Yung sinasabi pong junk, kasi parang sabi nila may possibility. Ang tanong ho talaga dyan is dapat ba talaga i-junk? Dapat ba i-junk? I think that's the most pressing question that we need to ask. Because the verified impeachment complaints are not mere scrap of paper. These are serious allegations. Paggagasta ng 125 million in 11 days. And I guess the public, the Filipino people deserves to know what happened with the 125 million allegedly spent in just 11 days, including the holidays. So isa ng issue yun na deserve pa na i-junk na natin without even bringing this up out the open so that the people will know where their money goes to. So kung yung tanong nila na baka ma-junk, I think that public should ask, and the question that must be answered is, dapat ba talaga? I have no problem if individual senators have leanings towards either i-acquit or i-convict. Yun nga yung purpose ng judge, i-express nila yung kanilang appreciation. Pero allow the process to proceed. Because that's what the Constitution says. It's not even an option for the House, for the Senate. It's not even an issue of optional to it. It's their obligation. No question about it ang sinabi ng Constitution. Forthwith, convene the trial. Ang sinabi ng Constitution. Hindi ho kami nagsasabi nun, ha? Ang nagsabi nun, ang Constitution. Without any delay, forthwith, proceed with the trial once we transmit it to verify the which we did.
Sir, isang follow-up lang po. Yun nga, speaking of forthwith, sinabi din kasi ni SPGs kahapon na parang matatagalan pa, wala pang trial date at sa 20th Congress na raw yung magtatakdad. Ano po masasabi nyo dito, given na paulit-ulit ng sinasabi ng ina-assert ng House forthwith?
Again, we are not asserting that. We're just merely referring to the words used by the Constitution, which has not only it speaks about yung time frame, but it also speaks about the urgency of the matter. That's why I guess the framers of our Constitution chose the word forthwith because it carries also with it not just the timeline, but the urgency of the matter. Kasi we're talking about impeachment process. Again, ang House prosecution still commits that we will proceed, we will work in compliance with the order of the Senate Impeachment Court. That also includes their timeline. So, sa kanila po, sila pong nag-decide kailan yung mag-reconvene, kailan po yung actual trial, sila po yung korte. Ang House prosecution team will just simply comply with the orders of the impeachment court, including the timeline. We have consistently displayed that throughout the issues that even started.
Thank you, Mela. Our next question will come from Earl Tobias of IBC 13.
Good afternoon po, Kongs. Kung sa isang press briefing kanina, nauna nang pinabulaanan ng palasyo ang patutsyada ni Vice President Sara Duterte na photo ops lang daw ang ginagawa ng ating Pangulo at hindi daw nagtatrabaho. Ang konteksto po nito ay galing doon sa mga nasamsam na ilang illegal na droga, pero para daw sa Vice Presidente, ito ay photo opportunity lang ng Pangulo para itago ang dire situation ng bansa. Bilang leader po ng Kamara, bilang parte po ng liderato ng Kamara, ano po reaction?
Alam niyo po, marami na po mga indicators, no, na ang ating bansa ay nasa tamang track. Yung mga pictures naman na sinasabi, alam mo, parte po sa isang public service is also transparency. Kaya meron tayong sinasabi nating reporting to the public what has been accomplished. No? Apart from also showing data, mas maganda nga po na ating mga leader ay pumupunta sa bawat lugar at pinapakita not only the accomplishment but the dedication to which these programs, particular programs of are needed and are important to boost economy and to project that there's a stability in the country and how we serve our constituencies. No? Again, I'm not surprised that such remarks will be coming from the Vice President. But sabi ko nga, ang Malacanang sa ngayon, ang Presidente, I cannot say, but the way I see it, any distraction, any kind of negative opinions will not deter against this current administration to pursue what we believe are priority agenda for this country's moving forward.
Inggit lang si Sara.
Opinion, dapat pag i-criticize ka, objective lang.
Guys, umuulan sa amin.
Kakampi mo o kalaban mo kung ayaw mo yun ako. Problema kasi, kapag ka nag-criticize ka, kapag kalaban ka, sasabihin mabuti. Let's be realistic. Pagka walang nakitang picture, wala kang ginagawa, stubborn ka. Kapag may ginawa ka naman, labas mo sa press, photo ops naman. Isa po nasa tama mo eh. Ay, ganun talaga ang politika. But we have to be mature enough as leader of this nation to look beyond kung ayaw mo ba o gusto o kalaban mo sa politika o hindi yung tao eh. Pagki-criticize natin sa ibang leaders natin should be objective. Hindi yung para lang magtapong ka ng putik. So I know the Filipino people are very smart. We know who is doing their job, kung sino nagtatrabaho at hindi, who is sacrificing for our nation, kung sino hindi. And these name callings, won't hold water. So I do believe that, I hope that we could be mature enough as leaders of this nation to stop the politicking, to just be objective in criticizing our kapwa lingkod bayan to the betterment of our country.
Inggit lang yung si Sara.
Follow-up lang din po.
Kasi
Kung
siya
you
walang
have
nagawa
a statement saying being a frontrunner is not a license to violate the Constitution referring to Vice President Sara Duterte. Can you elaborate lang po the reason behind it?
Well, that is in response to her statement na nabayaran ang House of Representatives sa pagpapipirma ng mga verified complaints. I guess it's also on the context that her team, yung those closely associated with her are trivializing the impeachment court by saying that this is political because this impeachment process is to prevent her from running in 2028. I guess the bulk of the issue comes from her camp na sinasabi nila, this is actually what's happened kasi yun ang projection nila. So ang sinasabi namin, ang response po namin dyan, una, hindi ho, sabi nga ni Kong Ernix kanina, wala pong pumilit sa amin pumirma, hindi po nabayaran ang mga members ng House na nag-fix ng kanilang signatures in support of this verified complaints. At number two, hindi po totoo na itong sinabi sa Constitution na kung merong talagang legal basis of violations, no? High crimes that constitute betrayal of public trust against enumerated officers under the Constitution na impeachable officers, ay hindi nangangahulugan po na we look at it on a political lens. That nobody has the right to say that the Constitution, Article 11, is just there simply to be abused by anybody for the purpose of preventing anyone from ever seeking any offices in the coming and in future elections.
Thank you, Kong. Last from my end na lang po.
Luklukan ng
Question din po kasi ni Vice President Sara Duterte ang hakbang po ng Pangulo bilang Commander-in-Chief at sa pagpapataas po ng police patrols to curb criminality in communities. I will quote na lang po yung sinabi ni PP. Dapat ang iniisip mo how to modernize, leverage the technology out there to improve the Philippine Police. Bakit nandoon din sa ilalagay mo ang police sa kanto, nandoon pa din tayo sa 1970s at 1980s na magpapatrolya ang police sa daan. Would you agree to such statement po na luma yung estratehiya na maglagay ng physical police presence sa mga kasada po natin?
I beg to differ. Yung police visibility is always a deterrent for crimes. No? Seeing physically a police officer, a law enforcement in the streets is a very strong deterrent to criminals. But I'd like to correct the statement na walang ginagawa na, modern things sa ating law enforcement. Actually, truth be told, we were there yesterday sa Krame. We met with our new PNP Chief, General Torre. Pinakita niya sa amin yung quick response ng ating kapulisan. Meron silang command center sa Krame na namomonitor from Luzon to Mindanao. So I really commend also the President and our new PNP Chief General Torre for having this new technology na pinapaigting nila yung quick response ng ating kapulisan to each part of our country. Nakita namin doon sa monitor doon na at a single notice na may tumawag, makikita na yung foot patrol na nakikita sa vicinity nung panangyayarihan ng crime. So it's not true that walang ginagawang technological advancements sa ating law enforcement. Truth be told, parehong ginagawa. May technological advancements and at the same time, nandiyan pa rin yung physical presence. It's a strong deterrent for criminals.
Ako naniniwala ko doon sa sinabi ni Chief of PNP na the police should be out there in the streets. Sabi nga, it's a deterrent. Tama po, police visibility is a deterrent na mangyayari ang mga krimen. The word actually is the catch word is prevention. Hindi lang yung actual investigation or running after criminals, but even to prevent a crime to even happen in the first place. So that's police visibility. Number two, yung gusto niyang ilipat doon sa the headquarters, the police should actually be out in the streets because the police are not just simply for clerical purposes. Kasi pupunta yung mga tao, magre-reklamo tapos i-encode ko anong reklamo. These are clerical jobs. In the first place, ang police is to serve and to protect. You should be out there para ma-prevent yung mga nangyayari na possible na mangyari sa krimen and to respond to call of distress. Halimbawa, o may nangyayaring hindi maganda sa ating mga barangay, within 5 minutes dapat mag-responde. So it's an improved services, no? In terms of keeping our streets safe, making our streets free from criminal activities and criminals. So sa akin palagay, ang Galing nga sina Kong Ernix doon nung isang araw ba yun? Kong, no? Isang araw, kahapon. In fact, meron na silang mga additional na gadgets na yung ating mga kapulisan sa ngayon, meron na silang camera attached sa kanilang katawan na naka-link na siya automatic sa internet. So kung titingnan mo, maski saan sila pumunta, meron silang merong operation na IT operation doon sa PNP na yung visibility kung saan pupunta yung mga pulis ay on time at real time nakikita ng headquarters. So that's an improvement. No? That's when you talk about modernization, that's one aspect that I guess we need to commend the current Chief PNP for introducing this new technology so that we do not only prevent crimes in the street, we do not only keep our streets clean from criminal activities, but we also maintain yung professionalism ng ating mga police kasi nakikita ko ano yung trabaho nila, kung anong ginagawa nila, paano sila rumisponde sa mga hindi magagandang tawag at mga krimen na nangyari sa ating mga komunidad.
Thank you, Earl. Let us now hear from Jines Capanti of GMA Online. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon po. Circle back ko lang yung statement nyo kanina. You said sa impeachment, the boat has sailed. Does this mean that pursuing the impeachment against the Vice President under 20th Congress is not debatable at this point? Definitely the House will pursue the impeachment, will pursue prosecution of the Vice President before the Senate impeachment court.
Yes, ma'am. Kasi logic would dictate there's a pending complaint eh. You cannot table it eh, na parang bahala na dyan na muna yan kung sinong gusto mag-handle. Kaya nga yung forthwith ang nakalagay sa Constitution natin, kailangan aktuhan agad eh. Because meron siyang accusation eh. Whether or not it is true, it is yet for us to find out eh. Kaya nga yung impeachment process, yung Senate acting as an impeachment court is the proper venue to hear both sides. The pieces of evidence will be presented and the senators as impeachment judges, they will be the ones to decide. Wala naman sinasabi tong guilty na eh. Wala pa namang sinasabi na not guilty eh. But it is imperative, it is important for each and every Filipino to see the pieces of evidence that will be presented and decide from there. So, saying that the boat has sailed because there's a pending impeachment complaint, hindi pa pwedeng ilagay lang natin sa cabinet or drawer o iiwan sa mesa na hindi mangyayari. It has to proceed as mandated by our Constitution, ma'am.
There's no question whether or not impeachment should proceed or not because even the Senate has already convened itself into impeachment court. They have already taken jurisdiction of the verified complaint. That's why they requested the prosecution, both the prosecution and defense, to make some appropriate, yung entry of appearances, etc. So I guess in terms of the jurisdictional issue has already been resolved by the impeachment court in itself. The question now is whether or not the next Congress will pursue. I guess yes. There will be continuation of this process because it has already been resolved by the impeachment court. Nagkaroon na sila ng nag-take oath na yung mga senator judges. So when it comes to the proceeding in itself, there's no debate about that. Ang debate ngayon is ano yung magiging desisyon ng bawat individual na senator judges. But sa proseso, I guess, it's already been settled. The timeline na ngayon yung pinag-uusapan.
Okay, follow up po, sir. Having said that it's not debatable already, should the Senate impeachment court discuss another motion to dismiss in the case it is again put forward? Kasi as it is, Senator Rosa already put forward that motion to dismiss. They discussed it and the same motion was amended to remand or return the articles of impeachment. So without dismissing or terminating, I believe that was the motion that was carried by the court. So in the event, dapat pa kapag in the event na another senator judge, when the trial resumes, another senator judge or the defense will again put forward a motion to dismiss outright. Should this motion be entertained by the Senate Impeachment Court again? Given na discuss na yon, I believe thoroughly concerning Senator De La Rosa's motion.
I don't know how the impeachment court will entertain any motion. We simply cannot offer you an answer to that. And number two, just as like you, my guess is as good as yours. We just have to rely on how the impeachment court will continue. No? Kung may mga motion to dismiss, sabi ko nga, ang position ko dyan, it's ang mga senator judges. Ako, alam ko, and I still maintain my optimism that they will decide based on the merits of the evidences individually. And I admit that there are senators there who have already prejudged the outcome or already have their own leanings, their own biases. But wala namang problema if they vote for either to convict or to acquit. Basta ang position lang po namin is let's respect what the Constitution says and let the proceedings and let the impeachment process proceed. So I cannot guarantee you with how should the House prosecution team or how the impeachment court will appreciate if there are succeeding motions for the purpose of dismissing. Sabi ko nga, I return the question to the public and perhaps to everyone na invested so much on the impeachment. It's not the question of can they do it. It's a question of why should they do it. Tama ba na i-junk itong impeachment, verified impeachment na complaint na to, na ang pinag-uusapan dito ay pera ng taong bayan, mga allegations that constitutes high crime, tantamount to betrayal of public trust, among others, laid down in the Constitution. The public deserves to know the truth. The public deserves to know kung saan napunta yung kanilang pera. And the only way for us to find out and to also, at the same time, give due process to the defendant is by holding the impeachment process and to continue on with the impeachment trial.
Ano yung question nyo? Motion to dismiss? Ba?
Kasi sir, di ba na-discuss na nila yun before motion to dismiss outright? Tapos in-amend
Pero
without...
just...
Kung meron na naman gano'n na naman, kasi parang uulitin na naman, parang motion to dismiss outright na naman.
Tama po yung question. Actually,
should the Senate entertain a similar motion to dismiss?
Discretion nila yun, ma'am eh. Pero at the end of the day, ano ba yung basis ng motion to dismiss? Kasi dapat may basihan eh. Kasi kung iisipin mo, each senator should act impartial. Whether or not they are in favor of the accused or not, they should act as an impartial judge do sa impeachment process eh. So doon mo makikita na may pinapanigan agad kapag nagmo-motion to dismiss without hearing a piece or pieces of evidence. Wala pa nga pinipresenta, gusto na lang i-dismiss eh. Yun makikita sila impartial. So the people are watching, history will write itself ngayon dito eh. So we have to show our impartiality, kakampi o hindi, you should do your part in your job as a Senate judge, no? So, yeah, again, with what my colleague is saying, si Kong Z, na we cannot speak or hindi namin masasabi kung ano magiging action nila eh. We don't want to overstep. But it is our opinion that the impeachment is the best way to see whether or not guilty or not guilty after seeing the pieces of evidence.
Last na lang po on BARMM. the Chief Minister asked for courtesy resignations, pero may election na rin po kasi sa October, which is roughly 3 months away. What makes this call for courtesy resignations justified? Mag-election na rin naman po in 3 months. Why the need for courtesy resignation at this point?
Sa aking palagay, there's no, I mean, that's an executive power, a decision by the sitting chief minister. Party po yan sa kanyang mandato, power na binigay po sa kanya under the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Ang BARMM kasi, it's a parliamentary system. Even if you revamp the cabinet, no, there are secretary, director generals na career in terms of would it affect, hamper the daily transaction or of each of the ministries or agencies? Hindi po, kasi meron naman pong tuloy po yung trabaho dyan. It's purely an administrative decision, a executive decision by the sitting chief minister, which is entirely within his power to exercise. Kasi anytime po ang sa parliament kasi, even the parliament can call for a vote of no confidence and you can revamp automatic without drama. We can revamp the ministries, no, the bureaucracy at any given time. That's just one of his powers. So hindi ko alam. I cannot presume what were the reasons or the justifications for the chief minister to request a courtesy resignation. I guess it's part of how he would probably better the services in the BARMM, no? To better the bureaucratic services of the entire regional government. So I cannot answer you as to the validity or the basis or the justification, because again, that's entirely within his power under the BUL to exercise such executive decision.
Thank you, sir. That's all.
Salamat, Nasel. We acknowledge Marian Enriquez from TV5. You may take the floor.
Good afternoon, sir. Just have 2 questions po. Sundutin ko lang yung tanong ni Mela when SP Escudero said po that a majority may vote to dismiss or junk the impeachment case against Vice President SARADU30 if a motion is introduced. So sinabi ni mamamayang liberal nila de Lima, quote, "My cheese Escudero version na talaga ang 1987 Constitution, ibang-iba sa original." Do you share the same sentiment, sir?
Ako, I rely on how well, naturally, we have the House prosecution team, and maybe they will ready themselves on the eventuality that such thing might happen. But let me also go back to the explanation of my colleague, my friend, Ernix Junicio. Set aside the technicalities and legal. For a judge to even arrive into conclusion or judgment, ang word mismo is judge, no? To weigh things, no? Based on the evidences, based on the evidence presented by the accused and the defense, the counter evidences to be presented by the defense panel, without even giving and allowing the opportunity for both sides to present their case. And that, to me, in a way, is a question more on why, rather than can they do it or how. So it's more on the question of bakit i-dismiss without even allowing both sides to present their case for the public also to be the judge whether or not the VP has committed high treasons, constitutes a violation of the betrayal of public trust. So yung issue na yon, sa palagay ko, gusto ko rin mag-refer yung lahat ng mga kasagutan tulad po ng kasagutan ng ating dating mga justices sa Supreme Court. There are only 2 instances where an impeachment proceedings can be concluded. It's either a decision to acquit or to convict. So it's a novel idea for them to hear the words dismissed and junk. So, if you ask my personal opinion on that, I tend to agree with these former justices who say, yung Philconsa who says na hindi ang dapat to move forward, it's not to dismiss outright, but to hear the complaints because that's what the Constitution says.
Dismiss or ano ba yun? Dismiss or junk. Ako, I agree with Kong Zia. Pero malaking tanong, bakit? Anong reason nyo para i-dismiss or i-junk? Are you more powerful than the Constitution? Or the bigger question is, ayaw nyo bang marinig yung gustong marinig ng taong bayan? O ayaw nyo bang makita o masilip man lang yung mga ebidensya na ipipresenta ng dalawang panig? Yun ang pinakapatas sa lahat eh. That's why dapat impartial. So kung gusto nyong i-dismiss o i-junk this early in the game, in the process, anong reason nyo? Nakakapagtaka at iisip ka talaga kung ba't ayaw nyong pakinggan yung panig ng dalawa. Yun yung tanong ko lang.
Thank you, sir. Kanina po you also mentioned, again, dapat ba talaga i-junk? Kong Adjong, you said they should just allow the process, not even an option for the Senate. Hindi nga ito option now. It's their obligation, no question about it. They just have to forthwith proceed with the trial. Kong Ernix, you said forthwith ang nakalagay sa konstitusyon, dapat aktuhan agad. And if you're saying earlier na hindi po yung House Prosecution Panel ang matigas ang ulo, sino po kaya?
Ayoko sanang gumamit ng ganong klaseng konteksto, no? May position ng bawat institusyon na involved dito sa sa impeachment court na ito. I don't see it that way. I only see it as something na merong hindi pagkakaunawaan ata. But I'm coming from in a place where I have to really consistently, no, explain to the public that the House of Representatives has consistently and constantly displayed a sense of respect to what the court has been ordering us to do, the House Prosecution Panel. That the impeachment court is the one determining the timeline. The impeachment court is the one ordering both the prosecution and defense to comply to such requirements. And if there's any delay or if there's anything that would further open up legal interpretation on how the Constitution dictates, it's not the House prosecution team because we merely submit to the orders of the court. And that's what we've been doing from the very start.
No more follow-up, Marian?
Basta wag lang magkaroon ng mainit na ulo.
Thank you, Marian. Tina Panganiban Perez from GMA7.
Sir, this is for Kong Ernix. May problema raw po sa basura sa Manila kasi ang dami raw pong tambak sa mga kalsada and yung recent pagbaha po, isa dun sa mga sinisisi ay yung hindi nakukolektang basura. Sa distrito niyo po ba may ganitong problema? Ano po yung sanhi and ano po yung ginagawa?
Actually, thank you for the question, ma'am. Actually, a few hours ago, I received texts nga na humihingi ng tulong ibang mga constituency namin na may mga tambak ng basura and upon monitoring, talagang meron eh. And ayoko naman maggaling-galingan para sabihin kung ano yung solusyon o sanhi. But upon the observation of this humble representation, it's simply because probably of the change of the nangongolekta ba ng basura sa lungsod ng Maynila. Kasi yung pumalit, ayoko namang idiin sila na hindi sila magagaling, pero yung nakaraan kasi mas magaling eh. They've been there for decades and they are there for a reason eh. Alam na nila yung labas-pasok ng basura sa lungsod ng Maynila. Apparently, itong pumalit, hindi nagagampanan maigi. Not to do blames or name calling or whatever it may be, solutions have to be presented. And the incoming administration of the newly Mayor-elect Isko Moreno, as per our conversations, is really keen on solving this problem. And I do believe that the experience and the know-how of Mayor-elect Isko Moreno will solve this problem quickly.
Thank you, Tina. Sai Chua from IBC 13. Please proceed.
Hello, sir. Good morning. Happy Islamic New Year, sir. Balikan ko lang, sir, yung napag-usapan natin. Yung nasabi niyo po na magiging part ang Young Guns sa Marawi rehabilitation. Can you give us an update, sir? Meron na po ba mga napag-usapang proyekto with the Young Guns?
Yes, consistently naman yung support ng Young Guns. Remember, nagkaroon po kami ng public consultation dyan po sa Marawi at umattend po yung po sa mga miyembro ng Young Guns. By the way, I'd like to extend yung aming pasasalamat, no, sa kay President Bongbong Marcos. He was there to visit us, visit Marawi, and then to assess yung ongoing rehabilitation works na ginagawa dyan sa 24 barangays, yung most affected area. Pinuntahan po niya yung Marawi Port, pinuntahan din po niya yung schools dyan sa Gusongan, distributed yung mga Starlink para mas maganda yung digital. Kasi ngayon, more on digital na tayo, di ba? So, nag-distribute po siya ng mga ano dyan sa eskwelahan dyan, sa ating mga mag-aaral. Binisita rin po niya yung water supply kung saan ilalagay yung magsiservice ng water sa 24 barangays, and yung electric supply also, he visited the locations. Papasalamat po kami dito dahil it also speaks about the commitment of this current administration to continue on with the rehabilitation efforts. And for him to say na babalikan ko ito or babalik ako, that also speaks about his desire to really assess and evaluate and then come back again whether these projects have already been completed and accomplished, because entirely the idea of the rehabilitation is for the reintegration of the former residents in this area. So marami pong salamat sa ating Pangulo, President Bongbong Marcos, for visiting Marawi City. Going back to your question again, yes, the Young Guns, yung Top Guns nga sabi ni Speaker, will be one of... No, it's yeah, I don't know kung kasi para sabi nila parang mga hindi na ro kami mga ano to fight eh. Nasa second term na namin. Yeah, we have I have already received assurances from my from members of the Young Guns, si Kong Ernix, kasi marami po sa kanyang distrito na mga taga-amin po, na mga displaced individuals din na lumipat sa kanyang distrito kasi nga wala nang yung kabuhayan nila nung una sa Marawi ay nawala, so lumipat. Kaya si Kong Ernix ay isa sa sumusuporta sa efforts ng rehabilitation. I guess it's not more on how the individual members of the House will continue supporting the rehabilitation of Marawi. It should be a national effort, because for the first time we've seen the entry of vigilant radicalization, the violent extremists coming into the country, and so this is the first time that we saw a city that was devastated by a 5-month long conflict. So it's a national priority, and that's the reason why I also thank the President, because he is there to see personally and witness the progress on the ground. It's a national priority. It should be a national commitment to make sure that the affected individuals will be not only given the chance to reintegrate, but also to give justice to those who have been displaced. So I'm confident that the support, not only of the Young Guns, but even the leadership of the House. I would also like to convey to you, I have consistently thanking the Speaker because he has put so much effort in the rehabilitation of Marawi City. In fact, he ordered the creation of the ad hoc special committee on Marawi rehabilitation, specifically to monitor the progress of the rehabilitation and as well as to provide justifiable compensation packages for the victims. So thank you very much for that question.
Sir, dagdag ko lang, yung mga bagong upo po ng mga neophytes, will they be welcomed as the new young guns, part of the young guns? Yung mga bagong upo po na neophytes.
Well, yeah, they're always welcome, but ayaw namin pangunahan, baka silang gustong group din na mabuo as a neophyte house members. Basta they're always welcome to join our group.
Thank you po.
By the way, yung young it does not necessarily mean age. yung young, yung term kasi ng young guns, those refer to the terms, no? Or the word young refers to the assumption of the neophytes in the previous Congress. Na ilan tayo? 70 plus, no? 70 plus.
Thank you, Sai. We will now call on again Janice Kapanti from GMA Online for today's last question.
May nakalimutan ako kanina, sir. Sir, about yung lang kasi the speaker earlier said deeply concerning yung pag-remand ng articles of impeachment sa House. I'm just curious if the speaker yesterday during the fellowship, did he ask for support for the impeachment of the Vice President during the event last night?
Actually, wala. Si Speaker is very professional na talagang the event last night was mainly focused on welcoming the new House members, making them feel welcome and being guided accordingly. Kasi gusto ni Speaker Martin na beyond politics, outside ang impeachment, outside ang speakership, nakatutok lang siya sa pag-guide at pagtulong dun sa mga bagong House members so they could be an effective new House member at magaling na representante ng bawat distrito nila. So no, walang mention of any impeachment or no, again, there's no a single mention of support for House speakership. Talagang para lang sa mga bagong members, ma'am.
Jovial kasi yung atmosphere kagabi. So the least that the speaker wants is to sirain of the, to spoil the mood yung kagabi by saying such thing as impeachment. So wala kaming napag-usapan, walang na-mention anything about that.
Thank you, Lenesca. We will now move to the closing remarks of our honorable speakers.
Again, I would like to say thank you sa ating mga friends from the media at sa mga Batang Tondo. Again, magandang hapon sa inyo. At to everyone sa mga house media, lagi kong niyayaya kayo na hindi na mangyari yung sa Ugbo. Naku, parang naging 20th Congress na, hindi pa kayo nagano. Basta I just want to promote Ugbo na kasi marami doon na nawalan din ng mga hanap buhay, negosyo na trying to, financially be stable. Nilalaban nila yung mga negosyo sa Ugbo, kaya yung mga taga Quezon City, Makati o kahit saan parte o media, please mag-ano kayo ng isang date. I will sponsor it. I-feature natin yung mga negosyante sa Tondo. Masarap naman yung hinahanda namin. Mura na, malinis pa. So you're always welcome, and again, thank you very much at sana nasagot namin to the best of our ability yung mga tanong ninyo, and we're always happy to be here. Marami pong salamat.
On my part, magpapasalamat po ako sa House Media team, House of Representatives, sa inyong patuloy na pakikipag-ugnayan sa aming mga opisina para mas mabigyan linaw yung mga usapin ng ating lipunan sa ngayon. Nagpapasalamat din po ako sa aking kasama ngayon dahil maganda yung kanyang mga naging advokasya para sa kanyang constituents na galing po sa aming lugar. And I also would like to thank the President for visiting Marawi City. Again, marami pong salamat sa ating mga kaibigan sa media at sana po ay naliwanagan namin ng inyong mga katanungan, and we look forward to holding the same press briefing in the coming days po once the 20th Congress convenes. Again, I'd like to greet everyone. Happy Amun Jadid. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, House Ad Hoc Committee on Marawi Rehabilitation and Victims Compensation Chairman and Lanao del Sur 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adjong and House Assistant Majority Leader and Manila 1st District Representative Ernesto Ernix M. Juniso Jr. for joining us today. Sa inyong lahat po, maraming salamat. Magandang tanghali po.
Thank you guys. Shout out sa inyo. Babus!